All right, so back again. We have left with the damage functionality that we have done so far. Like you see here, like we have assigned the damage object to a reference and how to create the reference and how to just actually assign the particular object here using this get actor of class. Like I said, I will give some commands now, so it's like the unoptimized way. I will give that. So we are going to extend this functionality because based on our documentation, there will be two objects. One will heal player and another one will damage the player. Okay. So we have done the damage functionality successfully using the damage get damage function. Now we need to write a function for healing the player, and should we need to write this logic, the same logic, since we doesn't talked about the unreal collision system yet, because sometimes the code will indicate us whether there is a need for the gameplay interaction and the code interaction. So what does it mean by? So in the game development, you see there is probably two ways to interact with an object according to the game development theory. One is the using the tracing, and another one is using the uh, collisions. Okay, these two are gameplay related interaction, and apart from this we have the code based related interaction that should be handled with the design patterns and maybe sometimes with the data structures. Okay, we will talk more about that in the future. For now, let's get this started with, and finally I'm going to write a function now. So I'm going to say heal player. So what should we need to do? What is the heal amount? So I'm going to add an input pin now. So I'm going to say the new health. So same like the damage functionality, I'm going to add the things. So I'm going to copy this one. Okay. So I'm going to copy this one. So instead of the damage, I'm going to replace this with the heal player here, this one. So the health is good, but this one is the new health. So it should be like new health. Okay. If you press the things, the health should be added to the player. So we should not decrement the thing. It should be added to the player. So plus icon. So you see here. Now I will connect the pin here. So I will start connecting the pins here. Now minimum and maximum should be like this one. Okay. And we are going to set the value. Let me check it up one time. So yes, this is right. And so this level blueprint is actually just messing up. So I'm going to delete this event, delete all the stuffs from here. Yeah, yeah. Just get rid of this functionalities. Just delete this function as well. So compile. So there is no purpose for the level blueprints further. So we gotta say get damage the player, right? So close this all. So if we gotta right click and say close other tabs, which means all other tabs are getting all other tabs will get closed. Now damage 2 will damage the player. Yeah, and damage 1, damage object 1 will heal the player, and actually we have written the logic as well, like new health, right? So in the new health we are adding our health to the current one. So value should be 0 and it should be like the positive value. So here one problem is like let's say we having the health now, and if I start pressing the 1 it will heal the player, right? Health, new health, we are going to add something and the value between 0 and the -1. So it will start like go beyond the 100. So that is the one possibility here. We should need to aware of this one. I hope you guys can understand. I am going to mark this as the fix needed. Okay. So I will show the actual use case, then I can able to show the problem. Okay. So we will heal the player now. If I get back here, So we see in the unoptimized way we are setting the damage object 2. So how should we get the damage object 1? How should we set the damage 1? So how should we set this variable? Because if you assign the both values, then we can't able to just trying to do this. Okay, I will first duplicate and make one object. Control D for the duplicate. Um, let's get this here so that we can't able to confuse ourselves. Okay, end key. So we can able to assign our custom material to this one. So visual mesh, just assign this one. So it will heal the player and it will be 1, it will be 2. Okay, so I would say this will be 1 and this will be 2. So how this particular node, which is a function that will work, it will just start iterating the outliner one by one. So what does it mean? So it means like let's say it will check for those things and it will check whether okay I have reached this kind of actor blueprint, which mean actor class. Both are same like I said. In our future videos we will use this terminology words like uh, actor actor class or actor blueprint. Okay, so there we go. Here we have two different actors, right? So how should we differentiate that and how should we access them correctly? So we gotta use a terminology called get actor. Okay, get get actors of class, but we should need to assign the respective object to the one particular thing. So for those purpose, I'm going to say like we are going to get introduced to a topic that is called as tags. So tags. So what does it mean by tag? So first I'm going to just say get actors of class. Get all actors of class. Okay. First, generally, I need to get all the actors of the same blueprint. What is our blueprint here? So it is damage or heal. Okay. So we didn't talk about the arrays yet. So after 2-3 videos, we will talk about the arrays. So that is a very important concept in the game development. Since in my career of 5 years experience, uh, out of 4, uh, mostly you see we can assume like 75% I have used the arrays. So that's a very important data structure we need to understand. So here you see for each and every access that this function give us, we should need to traverse it like it's an optimized way still. Okay, for each and every loop body, I'm going to check each and every element that it is giving me. So what is it as? So actor has tag. So what is the tag? The tag is just a string, or so here it is mentioning as a name, right? So I remember I told in a video like we will talk about this one, like what is the difference between f name, uh, you see here, name, string, and text. What is the difference between those? um, I will represent here. So the name means it will be like cached. The data will be like cached. So you can't able to just change them in the runtime. It will be used for the static things. So it will improve the speed as well. Okay. So for the branch, you see for each and everything. Currently, this is a level design related stuff, which means I'm sure about there are only two actors out there of the same class type. Okay. When we start spawning them dynamically, or like let's say in the game, okay, take this area and spawn randomly up to 3 to 4 objects, then it could be like a mess. Okay, we will handle that case in a different terminology. But for now, let's say I'm going to add a tag. For adding a tag, don't go for the blueprint, since it will be like a object related one. Blueprints are classes, right? So it will be object related one. What does it mean? So it means like this one and this one, these are called as instances. Okay, so for each and every instances it should need to have different tags. So for this one I can say, if I just select this blueprint, okay, select this blueprint instance, sorry, so I gotta say tag. If I type the tag, you gotta see actor advanced tab. Inside that we have the tag subsection. Okay, click the plus button, it will add an array. So for adding an array, it will just, we need to check whether the tag is there. So I'm going to give a tag now. It's going to be like damage applier. So I gotta select this. Okay, I'm not giving anything in the blueprints. I'm giving in the blueprint instances, which is in the outliner. So I'm getting back to this, and I could say the name should be case sensitive. So you should be aware of that. So damage player. So it means this one will damage the player, and according to our documentation we see here, the object 1 will heal the player, object 2 will damage the player, right? So I'm going to assume if this was true, I'm going to say that particular element will be the damage object 2. If not, then I would say it will be the damage 1. So it will be the damage 1. Okay, so it will be the damage object 1 that will heal the player, and it will be the damage object 2 that will be damage the player. For the naming convincing, for the name things, I'm going to say the object 1 will heal the player. Okay, heal object. So I think that is better way. So this one will actually damage object, because they are instances and we are keeping track, we are keeping them in the memory using their references. Okay, so that's up to the name that you can give, how this particular object, which means how third person character can understand those objects. It can be like the same class, yeah, it can be a same blueprint, but how this one will understand, this one will understand like heal object and damage object. Okay, for this thing, damage object, get actor location, yeah, it will do the damage, and if not, then we will just try to heal the player, right? So like I said, this is clearly indicating there is a problem, or there is a conflict that we should need to solve with the gameplay interaction. What does it mean by? So it will say like, if I'm just checking whether it's a damage object, if not, then I should need to check whether it's an heal object. Okay, but still I need to check the difference between them. So I'm going to delete this. So if it was false, then I need to do the same thing, but for the damage object. So Control D for keyboard shortcuts here. So my blueprint's also getting messy up. So we will talk later about how to just organize the stuff. So here you see, if you are closer to the um, second object, okay, since we doesn't have any we didn't talk about the Unreal Engine collision system, right? So that's what we are getting here, manual workout, like we are checking the distance between the two vector. After understanding the Unreal collision system, this can be very much easier. Okay, so it will heal the player. So start healing the player if the distance is true. Okay, if you are not closer to the damage object, it will check whether you are closer to the healing object. If so, then it will just improve your health, maybe like 25. Okay, that's all. I guess it will work. So remember here, we had done a mistake. Like it's not the damage object anymore. It's going to be the heal object. So get the object, place it up here, just make it up. Don't forget this change. It's a very important one. Okay, it will heal player, damage player. Both are different. Okay, I'm sure about you guys understood this logic as well. Okay, so I'm going to improve this one. We will later fix this because it's an unoptimized way. We should not do this, but for referencing and understanding the concept, we are just using this up. Just play the things. First of all, I need to check whether those objects are valid. So how should I do this? Because if this was a empty reference, still it is like I cannot able to understand what you are saying like this, then it's a very mess. So I can understand two key. I will use the two key and I will just drag and drop this. Okay, they both are valid. So right click on the, so just drag and drop this and get them. So right click on this one and just say convert to validated get. The last option will be there. If it was valid, then go and check the next one. Heal object, damage object. If both are valid, I'm going to print a string like both objects are properly referenced. Okay, so maybe I can just display 5 with a green color. That could fit. So if I press the 2 key, you see both objects are properly referenced. And so far, if I'm closer to the damage object, my health is getting reduced. Okay, I think I didn't wrote any function for the heal player. Set the health, and we should need to print the string so that we can able to understand this. Since remember we need a fix there, right? So what is the health value there? So health value would be like this one. Maybe we can say green color. Duration is up to 5 seconds is enough. You see my health is getting reduced now. Okay, so if I go here, I started pressing the one. You see my health is getting increased, but there is a problem as well now because my health is getting like it's going up to the 200 500. So this is an error. So that's what I mentioned here. We need to fix this one. So we should need to alter the clamping logic here. Okay, so here you see the problem lies here in the clamping. Okay, so it should be minimum 0 and maximum the health that we are setting up. But how should it works is like remember we have a concept of maximum health variable, right? That's what we have mentioned here. So value should not exceed the max health. Okay, then now I think it will work, I guess. So let's say save this one. Let's go for this and let's try this up. If I just press the one, you see my health will be like 100 always because that value is clamped. So if I got damage, if I get near this one, and you see my health is now 25, right? So if I go here, it should be 50, 75, 100. It should not go beyond the 100. So this is how we should need to understand the objects and the references. So as you see from this perspective, I'm going to show now. So these are objects that belongs to this particular blueprint. So one blueprint, but two different objects are there. Okay. So one blueprint and two different objects are there. So people will call it as the instances sometimes. Blueprints, classes are those names. Same terminology. It will refer to the same terminology. Okay. And no fix needed. I will delete this. But still, you remember here this one definitely needs a fix. Okay. So this one will definitely needs a fix, and don't forget about the actor tag. So actor tag should be given for the instances if you need them. So it's purely depend upon the programmer's requirement. I guess that's all about this class. So we have talked about the things very clearly, I guess, and these logics are now getting like my blueprint graph is overwhelming. So what should we need to do is like I'm going to make this as a function, one single function. So it will damage the player or it will just check if they whether we should need to heal the player with one things. But before doing this, we will talk about the other concepts as well, like what is meant by the inheritance and composition. We will talk about that. If we got understand about the composition, then we can able to understand what is meant by those components. Catch up in the next video. Yeah.